right, everybody, welcome back. Had a little hiatus, and whenever I take a hiatus, it's due to a busy schedule. So, definitely going to put my full effort into completing the week 9. I kind of did a preview episode a couple of days ago based on what I was able to get and whatever information I was able to pull for my own. I wasn't able to do the screen sharing because the night that I wanted to do this video, FanDuel was down. So I was busy taking care of some stuff yesterday, playing a little bit of basketball and some hockey. Did pretty well. Got a couple more NHL Gold tickets for 11/7 next Tuesday. So, and I guess like got back most of my winnings. I guess when you add up the basketball tickets and well, I played basketball, so I also got NHL tickets through there. And then with the cash or whatever, I guess I broke even or whatever. So, but it is what it is. Enough about that. Let's get back into week 9 and continue the news. And let's just start with this right here. I have it already set on the quarterbacks because look here. At first, when I saw this schedule, I was like, oh my God, it's another ugly slate like 2 weeks ago. The slate's not bad when you actually look at it. No, the slate itself is not bad, which is right. The schedule is ugly. And then when you dig into it, look at this. This is great right here. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, 9,086.82. The minute you scroll down, though, I think this definitely has to be one of the worst. Like, it just looks like quarterback draws, and has to be all year. It doesn't help that Mahomes and Tua are on the London game. And then, of course, with the buys in the Monday night game, we have no Josh Allen. I mean, we have no... There's no Joe Burrow. I mean, it's just an ugly slate because you got Fields. Murray most likely still won't play. We'll get into that more. Justin Fields is still looking doubtful, even though he's more doubtful than questionable, even though that's the current status. And then the minute you leave that top tier, it's Sam Howell, Jordan Love. I mean, I'm excited because I do believe in the young kid Taylor Heineke. Ritter was benched, so Heineke does have the job. That's why those two are together. Could that change? Yes. Ritter did get knocked out in the, well, not knocked out. He took a strong hit early second half, evaluated for concussion, passed protocol, but Taylor Heineke started looking fine, so they know that they need to get this ball moving. So Taylor Heineke looked good with Pitts and Drake London. More Drake London, obviously. But we'll have to wait and see what's going on with that. But, yeah, when you look at this, I mean, Sam Howell, I'll take shots on. I mean, it's still a tough New England defense, but I will still take Sam Howell. I do not believe in Jordan Love. The matchup seems okay, but I do not believe in the kid. And like I said, these two guys don't look to play. So if you're paying up, it's Hurts, Jackson, Prescott. As I'm coming here, I do like Heineke mid-level 72. Derek Carr finally shown something. Like I said, whether if you like him or not, this is DFS. I think Derek Carr is willing to play. Daniel Jones is finally cleared. And also good news, 2 guys that they lost on off. They're supposed to get 2 offensive linemen back, which should help Jones at least a little bit. 2 guards, so the interior should be fine. Anytime Daniel Jones, honestly, especially against a team like Las Vegas. Now, the Vegas defense has been playing better. They have been playing better in the last few games. But remember, all we need is fantasy points here. And if he could just throw 1 touchdown for 7,000 even, this is Daniel Jones in a struggling Giants offense. If he can at least throw a long screen pass to Barkley, if he could get a touchdown pass to somebody, and then get the rest with his feet, you'll be happy with that. You'll be happy with that nice. He does have a 20-point ceiling, so if he gets the yardage and maybe he runs one of himself, then yeah, that 20 points, that 17 to 20 point ceiling could turn into 23, 24, 25. Jimmy G, I'm not interested in. I'm still not interested in the Raiders, even though as bad as they look, and they do have the Giants as a matchup, but I am not looking forward to that. I mean, regardless of who the hell it is, I mean, he was demoted. The coach was fired. The GM was fired. So total uproar, just total turmoil. The Raiders franchise has been right in about 20 years in my suggestion. It is what it is. What goes on there. I am willing, even though he did kill me, I still was able to win some money last week with C.J. Stroud as my quarterback, so I'm willing to take that back again. He's back in another strong excuse me. He's back in another strong matchup because if they do bottle up Damian Williams and Devin Singletary, C.J. Stroud is going to be forced to pass down the field. Robert Woods most likely won't be back, so he'll still have his favorite Nico Collins. He'll have Tank Dell, and then, of course, he'll have Noah Brown stepping up with Schultz. So I'm looking forward to have C.J. Stroud again. Not to go crazy as much as I did, but then again, I'm probably not the same player as you guys. I've been rarely focused on that 25 max for 10K to first, and then I'll throw in the $1, the $2, and the $5 single entry. Although this year for my single entry players who do watch this channel, the $5 not there this week. It's now 1, 2, and then it jumps to $10 single entry. So I guess I'm not jumping that. Deshaun Watson is still nursing that shoulder. Well, that's something more down the line you're gonna have to figure out or wait for news. Bryce Young is a interesting pick because the fantasy carnival that is the Indianapolis Colts, that defense has literally, whether home on the road, they've given up a lot. So I do like Bryce Young coming in. He is throwing a steady amount, 41. He's been throwing a lot lately, getting into the high 30s and even 40s within the last 3 to 4 weeks. Baker Mayfield, always an option. Yes, I know he's another annoying one. He's another one that people hate like Derek Carr. But like I said, we're here for fantasy. Houston does play the pass better than the run. But I think with the 2 high caliber wide receivers that he has, Baker is still a good choice at 68. Joshua Dobbs now in Minnesota. I don't think he's going to start since he just got there, and the reason why he's not going to start is because when we go all the way down to 6,300. Oh, before we even get there, Mac Jones is another good option. Yes, he loses Kendrick Bourne to injury, but as I detailed in the last video, but Mac Jones, once again, he has a matchup, and now that matchup even gets better because Chase Young is not there anymore. So the Redskins traded a few players, and like I said, they're already weak in the back 4, back 5, as I've expressed all season. So Mac Jones could still get some air yards down the field and hit the backups such as Juju Smith-Schuster and Devontae Parker if he's active, and Demario Douglas, the rookie, and some other guys, and maybe hit some tight ends if he can. But before we get all the way down there, as you can see also, Gardner Minshew is always a fun time with Gardner. He's going to throw some interceptions, but he's going to gun that ball down the field at Carolina. And there you go. Name the starter, Jaron Hall for the Vikings, at least for this week, maybe the next couple of weeks. I would say give Joshua Dobbs at least 2 to 3 weeks. They didn't bring him in there for nothing. When I was talking about it yesterday, I did not know Nick Mullins was already on IR. I totally missed that. So Nick Mullins is not scheduled to come back until either week 10 or after week 10. So if Dobbs is not ready to take it from Jaron Hall, or if Jaron Hall just stinks it up or whatever, then in 2 weeks, then it's either going to be Dobbs or they'll let Mullins nurse from whatever he's coming back from. He got put on IR, I think, late September. So earliest he could come back is week 10, which is next week. So, but Jaron Hall does get the start, and we shall see what he is capable of. And that's pretty much it from here. I think we can get out of here and go to running backs. And, man, when you see this, I mean, it's literally, once again, it's like the quarterbacks, but just opposite, just more options. So, cream of the crop. Alvin Kamara, 92. Great matchup with Chicago, fairly priced. Saquon, fairly priced. At Las Vegas, he is the offense. He's going to get everything. Do not worry about that questionable tag. Anybody will be questionable if they get almost 40 touches. Yes, for those who just remember the 33 carries, no. He had 41 touches. Anybody's going to have a sore ankle. Don't worry about that Q tag. Saquon is playing next week. Kamara, Saquon, and Johnathan Taylor at 8,000. cream of the crop? Or are you going to try and jam both of them in? Or are you going to pick one of these and get one of the value pieces? Who knows? But I think that's the key to the construction this week, because as I will show you in the next segment, the value is really in wide receiver with a tad at tight end. As we keep scrolling down, Kenneth Walker, nice matchup against Baltimore, not the shutdown run defense that they used to be. And once again, he's kind of like a Saquon Barkley play because of the value. He will get it. He will get there. Josh Jacobs on the other end of that game. With Jimmy G being benched, he'll probably see a little bit more action. 7,500, fairly priced. A lot of people probably go to Josh Jacobs now after him burning a couple people the last few weeks at mid to low 8,000s. If we keep going down, a lot of people in the industry and on the internet really feel that Bijan is down for his breakout week, and he might get it here. There's a number of reasons why. Minnesota's defense has been good against the run, but if the rookie that they start commits some turnovers, Bijan's going to be getting that on a short field, and the fact that he does it running and passing, look for Bijan to get plenty of opportunities. The Kareem Hunt, even though I did like it, it's better if he has that backfield to himself. He has 2 back-to-back weeks touchdowns. I've pretty much watched him closely, and secondly, made sure 3 rushing touchdowns the last 2 weeks. But the volume of carries is just not there as long as he's splitting with Jerome Ford. He's definitely a more attractive pick if he has the backfield to himself, which is why Jerome Ford is right next to him. But when it comes to getting down here under 6,000, Rachaad White is still my favorite pick down here. Great matchup here against the Texans. Rachaad White is literally the only guy. Keyshawn Vaughn only gets a few touches. Rachaad White does it rushing. He does it receiving. For what he does for Tampa Bay, I think he's looking at. I think he's looking at at least. I don't think he's had a game where he's had. No, he hasn't had a game with 20 touches. This except for the Chicago game. Everything under that falls to 17-20. This is the day that Rachaad White breaks out. I think Rachaad White is really due for that breakout, and why he's the top dog in Tampa Bay. I think against Chicago, he can definitely show that. I mean, against Houston, he can definitely show that. Zach Moss surprisingly still looks good, even though with the resurgence of Johnathan Taylor. But eventually, this is one of those things that I won't be surprised as a DFS play. Would it be smarter to get on him now? Because eventually Johnathan Taylor is going to swallow up all the opportunities and carries, which will leave Zach Moss behind. So this is one of those I would rather get off now than later and be on the week where things just fall apart. As you can see here, 18 dropped to 11. He still got the touchdown, but he's not getting the targets, as you can see. 7, 2, 1, 6 receptions, 3 receptions down to 1, 11 attempts, 7, 18 back to 11. It's going to start trending. I think if you don't want to pick Moss, I don't blame you. But if you do, I think this is one of the last weeks you can this is one of the last weeks that you can. This is definitely one of those get off the ride early before it's too late. Because this is definitely not the Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt situation. Eventually, it's going to be a 80-20 kind of thing. Maybe even 90-10. And it's trending that way right now. Tony Pollard. Whoever thought you'll see Tony Pollard this cheap, but definitely not the best bet to have this week against the top rush defense. Chuba Hubbard is definitely one of my favorite low pay options. Like I said, fantasy call in Indianapolis. He's somebody that you can definitely pick because he can get the ball through the air and the ground. I'm not touching Aaron Jones until he's completely healthy, and they say he's ready to take all the run because literally he's been in a reserved role kind of timeshare. The touches have been limited, and they literally have it's literally 3 running backs. He's literally like sharing. He's literally sharing it with A.J. Dillon and, what's the guy now? I think it's Patrick Willis. 8, 7. Yes, he's getting targets too, but he's not doing much with it. He's not getting much opportunity, so, in those last 2 weeks. So, until he's fully healthy, Aaron Jones is a stay away, no matter what the matchup is. He's He's literally getting worked back in and nursed still with a hamstring issue, and now has to share the backfield with two people. So let alone are you healthy, and it's like a 30 to 45, and then the third back on the roster gets everything else. Now you're looking at a nursing a hamstring and getting 20 to 30% of the run, while Dylan gets 50, 45, 50, even 55, and then everything else goes to the third guy. So not really what I'm looking forward to. Now, with the trades that Washington has done, now there's going to be a lot of young guys fired up, ready to get the opportunity, but until they prove themselves, Ramondre Stevenson seems to be seems to be not a dart throw, but it seems to be a nice little pay down option. Like I said, my favorite pay down, I told y'all, is it goes from Rashad White down to Chuba Hubbard. But Ramondre has some upside. Darrell Henderson, that opinion might change because Green Bay does have problems stopping the run. They've had problems stopping the run for the past few years. Darrell Henderson will probably get more of a workload if Matthew Stafford has a finger issue. Let's say if Matthew Stafford tries to tough it out, which he has. I've seen Matthew Stafford play and finish on drives with a separated shoulder. But if that finger is an issue, they will lean more on Henderson. Henderson will be looked at to probably get 20 carries. As you can see here, the past 2 weeks, 18 and 12, and he still gets a few screen passes thrown. Look for these carries to jump up at least by 6 each. He definitely has, the best way to say it, he definitely has 20 touch upside this week, 20 to 25 touch upside this week, depending on the finger of Matthew Stafford. And as we keep scrolling down, I think the only thing that I really like down here, yeah, there goes A.J. Dillon. These are all dart throws. Not really much I like here. I mean, Jamal Williams could vulture a touchdown against that weak Chicago defense. That's definitely a GPP play. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Oh, and matter of fact, if New England's front does slow down Brian Robinson, that's probably the lowest that I'm gonna go, because Antonio Gibson is pretty much the receiving back, and he's the 2-minute warning back. So definitely, if you're looking for a GPP play, I don't think this is a cash play because the volume is not really there, but this is definitely a GPP. He definitely has 5 to 8 target upside. What he does with those targets, it's on him. But if New England stifles the run and they are forced to go away from the run game, Antonio Gibson will outtouch Brian Robinson, especially going towards the second half. As we go towards wide receiver, oh man, I think at every position you just like looking at the first three. CeeDee Lamb, 88, Cooper Kupp, 87. Excuse me. Adam Thielen at 83. We scroll down a bit. Devontae Adams, 8,000. But, depends on who's throwing him the ball. That Adam Thielen, I won't be surprised. But like I said, Indianapolis has been the fantasy call for the last 3 weeks. I know those top 2 names look great, but the way he gets thrown the ball and the pace of the game, Adam Thielen look like he could break the slate even at 83. Puka Nacua with a knee issue, but I don't think that'll be much anything. Michael Pittman, yes, Carolina is a solid defense in the backfield, but I still see that game. That's the game that I kind of see has the possibility of going over and blowing up. You got Terry McLaurin. Oh, how can I forget? I can't believe I forgot this guy. I was like, I know he was here. I was like, I did have some notes to talk about him. Is it time to start talking about A.J. Brown MVP yet? I'm just asking because if it's not, and he has a great game against the Cowboys, I think it is. I think it really is. For wide receivers who you thought that the only other wide receiver that right now is as hot as him is Tyreek Hill. That's it. Jamar Chase, up and down season. Justin Jefferson, injured. CeeDee Lamb has been fine, but he's blown up the last couple of weeks. Cooper Kupp has just came back after missing the first 5. That kind of knocks you out of the conversation. Adam Thielen is on the rise. Devontae Adams is struggling. As I scroll down, who else do you have? Tyreek Hill is down the slate. So other than Tyreek Hill, I'm scrolling down the names, people. If he's not the MVP, okay, I'll say it like this: wide receiver, the MVP at wide receiver. If you don't have Tyreek Hill, the only other person, I'm scrolling too far down, but the only other person that you could possibly have is AJ Brown. I'm sorry, that's pretty much far fetched and done. The way he's been playing, 9,000 is still slightly too cheap. He should be over 9,000, not 9 flat. Just saying. But I'm not gonna complain. As we keep scrolling down here. It's still a GPP play. You still got to see how the guy goes. But hey, Jordan Addison, you don't know how the rookie's going to do. Jared Hall. Same thing with Jacoby Myers. Throwing it to Devontae Smith once again. I still like Devontae because the Devontae, it's not going to be like how close the percentage of those weeks where Tyreek and Jalen Waddle is. But it's still going to be to a point where people want to do the same thing. Or if they do double stack with Hurts, it will be Brown and Goddard, and they'll leave out Devontae Smith. So it helped me a little bit last week because he did catch a touchdown, and I did have him with some good lineups. He was in the mid sixes to upper sixes. Now he's at 7,000 even. I still like Devontae Smith if you want to get away from the AJ Brown, and hopefully this is the week that AJ Brown has like a subpar, has a subpar Sunday, and let's say like him and Devontae, if they're even anywhere near close, even though he doesn't outscore him, if he doesn't blow him out the water, Devontae Smith is the better play because if you got the Hurts and Devontae stack right, I think you beat the Hurts and AJ Brown stacks because literally you see 7,000. If they score about the same, you win. Plus you have an extra 2,000 to figure out what you want to do. Tyler Lockett with a hamstring. Chris Olave still the main New Orleans receiver. He's still the main New Orleans receiver that still hasn't clicked with Derek Carr yet. Derek Carr, like I said, seems to have found the magic last week. But once again, ever since last year, nobody has dominated. I mean, it doesn't matter because he hasn't really been able to take advantage of these opportunities. But down the field per yardage targets, nobody's targeting deeper than Chris Olave. And please don't forget, we don't like Derek Carr. Some don't like Cousins, whatever. I mean, I'm one of those people too. But it is one thing that Derek Carr can't do is throw the deep ball. Once he gets it on target, watch out for Chris Olave. Amari Cooper at 68. Arizona, favorable matchup. Like I said, Nico Collins in that Tampa Bay game, looking back at each other. That could be an interesting game stack, whether if it's him or a little bit expensive with Mike Evans. We had just passed him a little while ago. Mike Evans is up to 74. Right here is pretty interesting. What I want to get to, Drake London did suffer a groin early second half. So, who came in his place, and he didn't practice it. I don't think he plays, but who came into his place was Kadero Hodge. And then also he has Heineke throwing to him, so we'll see how that goes. But I think Kadero Hodge, if I'm trying to find him, I forgot where he was at. Kadero, there we go. He's the one that started getting looks, and last week got 3 for 3 for 75. So if you're looking for some value, there's already some value there. If Drake London's ruled out, I think he's trending on being ruled out because, like I said, groins are not nothing to play with. Since I had to scroll all the way down there, Demario Douglas is the rookie. Demario Douglas is the rookie that's expected to take the place and step up more now that Kendrick Bourne is out on injured reserve with a torn ACL. But as you see before that, it's kind of like the tight end for Arizona. Oh man, I can't believe his name is slipping me right now. But McBride, McBride. I forgot his name. Can't believe that. But it's kind of the same setup. What I mean is, before somebody got ruled out on IR, the previous 2 weeks, the person was already being targeted as part of the offense. 6 targets, 7 targets, 5 receptions, 4 receptions for 25 and 54 yards. Not a touchdown yet, but already somewhat fantasy relevant. Now, the same thing. McBride. There you go, McBride. Can't believe I forgot. So, just like McBride last week, now the opportunities are going to be there. McBride busted open for 49 at 4,700 for a 20.5. I just wish I was heavy on him. I had him in only 5 of my lineups. Demaro Douglas is in that same category. And I like the matchup because New England has Washington, which is a bad pass defense. So he's definitely somebody I want to get to, especially in the few Mac Jones stacks that I plan on having. Because it keeps scrolling up. Excuse me. Tank Dell still has a great opportunity. Since he didn't have a great game, Tank Dell is $200 cheaper. He was $6,000 last week, now $5,800 against Tampa Bay. Robin Woods is still, there goes Kendrick Bourne. Robin Woods is still nursing a foot injury, and there goes Rashid Shaheed, who took advantage of the deep ball last week from deep balls from Derek Carr. Zay Flowers is a nice matchup against Seattle, especially at home. Where is he? I think Noah Brown. What is it? Noah Brown should be here somewhere. Should be coming up. There you go. So Noah Brown, I think he'll be getting more run because the Robin Woods foot injury is known as a 2 to 3 week injury, possibly 4, which means we probably won't see Robin Woods back until week 11. So get to Noah Brown before you can. He's going to be one of these guys in a great passing matchup. He did whatever. I think he was 5,000, didn't do much, so they dropped him to 48. So like I said, there is a lot of wide receiver value. Josh Downs always running underneath of the slot against Carolina at 64. And there you go, Nico Collins at 68. He was 7,000 last week. Didn't really do well. Like I said, my stacks failed. What helped C.J. Stroud was the running touchdown, which helped me cash a few things. But hey, having a bad game, you take advantage of that in fantasy. So those Houston stacks will be a bit cheaper this week. And that's pretty much all I have here for wide receiver. I think we go on tight end and defense. Tight end and defense. Yes, we have no Kelsey, but we have Andrews in Seattle. That's a nice play at 75. No over-exorbitant prices for Kelsey for like 85 or 9,000. Then nice fair prices. You go from 75. Big dip. That seems to be a trend here with tight end. That's how bad tight end has been. T.J. Hawkinson at 67. He might be a safety valve for Jaron Hall, so don't rule him out yet. Taysom Hill starting to get even more mixes and touches and getting his QB options. QB options sweeps to the left and the right. Taysom Hill now at 65 after I think scored 2 touchdowns last week. Darren Waller is out. What thought to be days is now being looked at as weeks. Why? Because this is the same hamstring injury. Yes, it says Q and hamstring, but it's going to be out by Thursday, Friday. It's the same hamstring that kept him out 8 weeks last year. So, crap. There we go. So yeah, the exact same hamstring that kept him out last year, $6,000. He's gonna be out. Yes, we got Dallas out at 58. Good match against Dallas. Not great at guarding the tight end. We got Dalton Schultz again. He's now a little bit cheaper, 58 last week. They dropped him 400. There goes the man last week. Trey McBride dropped 20.5. He's in a tougher matchup, and now he's getting, instead of like a vet, and now he has a rookie. Could he be a safety valve for the young man? Yes, he can be. But this is one of the top defenses in the league. So I don't know what they're gonna do, to be honest. Kind of worried about what they're gonna do, but I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Other than that, I mean, Kyle Pitts, he's probably in a nice matchup now that he has a more than likely accurate quarterback. Jake Ferguson still a nice value, up from 48 to 5,100. Dak definitely likes targeting him during the goal line. Hunter Henry's in a nice matchup. Like I said, Mac Jones, that team does not guard well anything passing, whether it's the tight end or the wide receiver. So Hunter Henry's now a value at 51. Anything after that, you might like Kate Otten because Houston once again gave up another touchdown to a tight end. Last week I was watching that game heavy. Tommy Tremble got one in the end zone. Kate Otten could get the same thing this week and then automatically meet his value at 4,900. And then after that, I don't really see anything else. Nope, not really. I think we're going to. I think we can finish this off and go right on to defense. Okay, so at defense, the reason why Atlanta's number one, Kirk Cousins. We already see how the offense had to methodically go down the field. They lost their big player. Now they lost their quarterback. So they automatically put Atlanta at 5,000. I don't play them. I will play them. I definitely will play them. Turnover pro Daniel Jones, Las Vegas is, and they're at home. They're always worth 48. Cleveland Browns has Arizona. Arizona starting the rookie, so definitely work 47. New Orleans Saints at home against Badger. Like I said, I don't think Justin Fields plays, so they're also viable at 46. Tampa Bay, like I said, the defense could put pressure on the rookie C.J. Stroud, who seems to be in a bit of a slump his last two games after coming out hot. Tampa Bay is still a good, not too high, mid-fours pick. We'll scroll down a bit here. Houston's defense, it also has played solid so far. Who says they can't get sack strips and get some interceptions or maybe return a pick six from turnover-prone Baker Mayfield? And hey, low-owned, whatever, no Chase Young. It could be a GPP play. Can even now a younger and faster front seven get to Mac Jones, who has not had the best year? Remember, we're here for the fantasy points here. You could probably still get an interception, a couple of sacks, maybe a strip sack fumble. New York Giants on the road against whoever the Raiders decide to play. They're also an option. Philly could have one of those games where Dak has a turnover-prone game. You can never, rule Philly out. I mean, Philly at 4,000 definitely going to open some people's eyes. Green Bay. The only reason why you want it is because, once again, Matthew Stafford. Like I said, I kind of got the Dallas defense last week because, like I said, he in the last 3 years has thrown the most pick sixes. Maybe goes back even 4 years. And you know me, guys. I'm gonna see what I like here. And if you ask me, a cheap defense that I like for this week, I don't think I mind Arizona and Los Angeles. I mean, the QB players hasn't been that great on either end. They're both on the road, which sucks, but I don't mind it. I actually think you could go as low as 3,400. The opportunity is there. I mean, you got P.J. Walker for Cleveland. Yes, Deshaun Watson might come back, but he hasn't shown that much either. Jordan Love hasn't shown me anything yet. Los Angeles is another tough playing defense, scrappy like Arizona. They can get you some points. They won't. I don't think either one of these teams down here are candidates for a negative. They can keep you in the positive. Maybe even hit 11 or 12 points possibly. That's doable. Or more realistically, that's booming. Their ceiling probably is somewhere to a 7 or 9. Like they give up a few points, get some back to interception, fumble recovery, and like 2 or 3 sacks. You know what? I think I'm right. So we're gonna pay up, people. I think you have an argument to pay up for anybody from the 5,000. But if you ask me who's my favorite to pick, if Justin Field is still not playing, gets ruled out, my favorite pay up would be New Orleans Saints at home. And what's funny, and hey, This might be a good week to pay up for defense. All the top defenses are at home, so that might mean something. Except for the Raiders. The Raiders are iffy. If you made me pick four, that's why I was like, it's New Orleans Saints. I trust New Orleans. I trust New Orleans the most. Then Cleveland. Or you could go Cleveland, New Orleans, whichever way. Since Cleveland's going to be looking at a rookie, I don't think they're going to activate Kyler Murray. I mean, Arizona's going to be activating the rookie, and I think he'll be ready for week 10, week 11. Paid down. Yeah, it's definitely Arizona, Los Angeles. Definitely. Arizona more if no Deshaun Watson, but right now I would like Los Angeles. Green Bay's in a bit of a funk, even though Los Angeles on the road. Is there anything here in like the higher threes that I like? Minnesota would have been interesting because of how struggling Desmond Ritter is, and maybe New England at home, maybe. But I already gave you mine. Pay up for me. It's a tie between. Pay up for me. It's a tie between Saints, Cleveland. Pay down. It's a tie between Arizona, Los Angeles. But right now it's Los Angeles. It's a tie between Los Angeles and Arizona. If Arizona gets PJ Walker. So that wraps up the Week 9 preview following the Week 9 intro. Now that FanDuel's back up. Hope everything's going well for everybody this week. Sorry for sounding a little nasally. Getting a little cold in the Northeast. So, good luck this week. Prize pick video will be coming up in a couple of days, possibly tomorrow. And hope you like this episode. Have a good night. Have a great day at work tomorrow. And this is Grade A Fantasy signing off. Good luck with your research this week.